Hey, what's going on, everybody? Got a lot of movie news I want to talk to you about today, and I'm going to start off with an update from the last movie news that I put out, and that's in reference to The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I reported on there that Shailene Woodley is going to be out as Mary Jane, and Sarah Gadon's going to be stepping in as Mary Jane. That is not true. Shailene Woodley is out, but Sarah Gadon will not be playing Mary Jane. She is confirmed to be in the movie, but she will not be playing Mary Jane, so as of now, we have no idea who's going to be playing Mary Jane for the new Spider-Man movies. In Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles news, William Fichtner, or Fitchner, however you pronounce it, is confirmed to be playing Shredder. If you don't know who that is, that's him. You may recognize him from either The Dark Knight or Armageddon. I don't know what to think of this movie yet. I'm not a huge fan of Michael Bay, so we'll just see what happens as this continues to develop. Now, Ghostbusters 3 has been drilled into the ground left and right. There's so many stories popping up, whether or not it's going to happen, script problems, is Bill Murray going to come on board, whatever have you. This has nothing to do with any of that, though. The exciting thing about this is that Rick Moranis was interviewed and was asked if he would return for Ghostbusters 3, and he said he would not come back. So he said he would like to see a script and make a decision based on that. So the fact that he would even consider doing it, I think, is amazing. I really, I want Bill Murray in the movie. I'd love to see him. But if they can get him to even do like a little cameo or at least just some reference to his character, they need to go through with this movie, because to see Rick Moranis come out and do this would be awesome. I would be just as excited for that as I would if Bill Murray came on. In Marvel news, Vin Diesel was asked to have a meeting with them, and this is really interesting because I really don't know who they would have him play. Is this going to be somebody tied into the Avengers world that they're doing? Or since they got Daredevil back into their property, are they going to do a Daredevil reboot, and could Vin Diesel possibly be playing Kingpin? I have no idea right now. Let me know down in the comments what you think about Vin Diesel possibly stepping into the Marvel Universe. Now, there's been a lot of news floating around about Terminator 5, and I know I talked about it in the last episode that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson might be stepping in, and I don't know if this is going to happen yet, but they did just announce recently that they're going to push this for 2015, and it's going to be more of a reboot. Now, Arnold Schwarzenegger is still on board for it, and this is going to be the beginning of a new trilogy, and it's said to be that the plot is going to be Arnold playing a human back in the past, protecting somebody way in the past of the Connor family, and that the T-800 model gets designed off of him based on his heroism. So it's still going to be connected to the original movies and everything, but it looks like this is going to be its own little trilogy taking place in the past. So this will be really interesting to see what happens with this as well. Some Jurassic Park 4 plot details released out as well, and Jurassic Park 4 is also pushing for a 2015 release. And it looks like we're going to get some aquatic dinosaurs in this one, which is going to be awesome. I think everybody's been wanting to see that. And I'm really happy with what they're saying this movie is going to be based around, because the original plot was going to have DNA mixings of humans and dinosaurs and this huge convoluted thing. This is going to be really neat because they're going back to the original island. They're going to have the theme park actually running and working. It's going to be a huge tourist attraction where people are coming and visiting, seeing the dinosaurs. Apparently the dinosaurs are going to be tame, and it's going to be kind of like a SeaWorld attraction thing. So we might see velociraptors doing tricks or something of the sorts. It'll be pretty interesting to see what they do. But the rumor has it there's going to be one particular dinosaur that gets too smart or isn't able to be tamed, and they start to cause havoc, and of course everything's going to hit the roof there. But I really like that they're going to take this back to the original island, have a working theme park, and it will finally be John Hammond's vision of what this was supposed to be. I'm really interested to see if they're going to bring back any original cast. I think bringing back the grandkids would be perfect now, because this is going to be 20 years after the original Jurassic Park, so they could get the original actors. They'd be old enough to be the ones running this park. And I think it'd be really cool if they kind of kept that and tied it all together to some extent. Hellboy 3 is looking like it could be a possibility again. I had the pleasure of being in Ron Perlman's Q&A for the C2E2 convention in Chicago this year, and he had mentioned it in his Q&A that he did want to come back and play Hellboy. He's been talking to Guillermo del Toro for a while about it, trying to push him to do the movie, but it looks like it might actually happen, and it's probably going to ride on the success of Pacific Rim, which looks amazing. Cannot wait to see that next week. I'll definitely have a review up for that. But if the movie does really well, I would imagine that the studio is going to want to move forward with Hellboy 3, get Guillermo del Toro on there, get Ron Perlman on there, and let's see the conclusion of that trilogy, because I am dying for Hellboy 3. I really, really hope that they can get this together and do it. In Justice League news, this isn't a huge surprise, but Christian Bale did finally come out and say that he is not going to be coming back as Batman for that movie. Now, that's not to say that they won't tie into Nolan's universe. If they can get Joseph Gordon-Levitt on board and still keep Gotham in Nolan's universe and attach that to Snyder's vision for Man of Steel, I think they can still tie that together somehow. I'll have to see what they do with this, because the Justice League thing has been a complete mess from the very beginning. And the last bit of news I want to talk about is going to be really exciting for horror fans, and more specifically fans of The Cabin in the Woods. Down at Universal Studios in Orlando, they're going to have an attraction. in the fall time based around the Cabin in the Woods. If you've seen Cabin in the Woods, it plays out just like the movie. If you haven't, spoiler alert here, because I'm going to talk about what this attraction is going to be. So if you haven't seen Cabin in the Woods, stop the video now because this will spoil the movie for you. So what they're going to do is they're going to have the guests going into the cabin. There's going to be a bunch of zombies that they're going to have to flee from, which is then going to take them into the secret bunker where they're going to be having the plot of them wanting to sacrifice them. And in the midst of all of that, they're going to have all these monsters break out, and they're going to have the guests in the middle of all this chaos as it's happening. So this sounds really exciting. So if you're a fan of horror movies, The Cabin in the Woods, or Universal Studios, this would be a really awesome, fun attraction to check out. That's all the news that I have to talk about for today. Make sure you leave a comment down below. Let me know how you feel about any of this movie news. Let's talk about it. And until next time, that's a wrap. If you guys like this video, make sure to check out some of my other videos over here, and you can click down here to subscribe to my channel and check out my Facebook. Keep it groovy.